1, 2, 3, let's go!
Welcome back.
Hey, Basic Pod, episode 2. Listen, if you made it through episode 1, God bless you. You're amazing. You had already known that we accomplished one of our goals of the podcast, Say the Word. I can't believe we accomplished it, episode 1.
Right.
It's all downhill from here. But you know what? We're still going to do it every single podcast because I think it's worth it. And if 3 of us could actually get it right, that would be amazing. If you don't know what we're talking about, you got to watch episode 1. Don't skip to episode 2. Who does that? Hashtag not me. I'm going to share a story to kick off our time on this episode. We believe in prayer.
Yeah, we do.
Like a lot. Like to the point of it becoming a main strategy. And so in all of my life, there's there's thousands of strategies that we're doing in missions and basic to reach campuses and campus planners. But there's only one foundation. There's only one core essential ingredient, and that's prayer. And so we just make sure that we lace everything we do with that.
Yeah.
And it's not a religious thing like from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., we have to pray 1 hour every day. That's not where I don't live in that space. I live in the space of prayer as a posture coming from our lives. And so a big thing that I constantly pray about, Crystal, is I pray for people to join Basic, to become a Basic missionary, to join Basic staff, not just so we can have a big team, it's so that we can actually see hands go to the harvest. That's the whole idea and the whole goal. So one of the things that I also lead, besides Basic, is called Global Ministries, where we work together. Global Ministries is a part of Elam Fellowship. Elam Fellowship is a larger organization that actually oversees Basic, gives us accountability. And in Elam, there's pastors, leaders, missionaries, churches, organizations all over the world. It's crazy. So Crystal and I, we actually lead the missions part. We help lead in different areas the missions part of that Elam movement. And so one of the things I've been praying about recently is just asking God. Our team has grown. The global team used to be 3 people. Now it's 14 people, and this is all through prayer. I'm not like a good salesman. There's no benefits of joining the Global Ministries team. We're just praying and saying, God, would you bring people in this hour that can help us multiply the vision and successfully do what you're calling us to do?
Wow.
Recently, though, Crystal, over the past few weeks, I've been praying and saying, God, what I really, really, really would need is I would need someone to come onto the global team that would have like a strategic leadership mind. Because we have a lot of people that are great relators, trainers, care people, prayer people, all these teams and missionaries that are going out. I'm like, Lord, send me someone that can be a more black and white person who they hear vision and they go, nah, that sucks, X, Y, Z. Here's what we need to do. If we want to fulfill this here, we have so many excited, happy, visionary people.
Yes.
I wanted some people that could say, Alex, that's not going to work. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And would be strong with it.
Yes.
Because I'm also strong. I'm visionary strong. Means we're going to get this thing done. I needed someone to come in. So I've been praying for that.
Yeah.
And just recently, so that was over the past few weeks. Just recently in the past week, someone sat down with me. Is this type of leader, this strong, strategic, entrepreneurial leader who can help figure out systems, sits down with me and says, Alex, here's the deal. My wife and I have been praying. We've been dreaming about future stuff. We were in missions before previously.
Yes.
Right now we're starting all these different businesses. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is be involved in missions. And so is there any way for us to join the global team in these capacities? And here's what we could offer. And Crystal.
Stop.
It's like the man read my mail.
Stop.
Now, he is a tech guy, so he could have hacked into my mail. Okay, I'm not saying that's out of the question, okay? He could have pulled I'm not going to say Russian election, but he could have pulled something. We can bleep that out. He could have pulled a Russian election. I know he didn't. He's sitting there. I'm praying for these different things to happen.
Stop
and
it.
then he is literally going line by line by line on the things that I didn't talk to Jody, my wife, about it. I didn't talk to any of the team about it. I didn't talk to my boss, Pastor Chris Ball, about it. I didn't talk to you about it. I literally been talking to my Abba Father. Yesu Jidu. That's how you say Jesus Christ in Chinese. I've been talking to one person about it, just saying, God, here's the greatest need that I think I have. In order for us to fulfill what's going on, this is the greatest need. And now I'm sitting across from a man who's literally describing, and here's my skill set. Here's what I have to offer. Here's the different businesses that I've started that
my
they
man
do
didn't
X,
even
Y,
have
Z.
to interview.
I just said, you're hired and you're my man. So we're actually talking in process to figure out what are the ways to collaborate. They live out of state. So it's not like we're in New York right now. So they'd be like a virtual team member, which is amazing. But anyway, they're gonna come on. That's it. Here's the deal. Because a lot of people, let me. I can't say his name out loud.
Is he big, brown, and beautiful?
He is not big, brown, and beautiful. He is like big, white, and beautiful.
Ooh.
That's who this man is.
Ooh.
Him and his family are absolutely beautiful. But here's the thing. Here's the point of this story, Crystal, is that so many times we assume things in ministry.
Yeah.
Like, because we're basic college ministries, all the campuses are ours. We assume that it's going to be easy, or we assume God's going to open up all the doors on the campus. Because no, we have to ask. And so I want us to be a movement of big asking. I want us to get crazy over this next semester.
Ooh.
And just because you're an advisor on a campus, just because you're a student on a campus, don't assume that everything's just going to be handed to you now. God actually loves it when his children come to him. And what does it say? To ask, to seek, and to knock, to go after it. He wants us engaged in that. So be encouraged. I'm seeing it's literally a perfect fulfillment of the prayer. Like, my life right now is surrounded by amazing people, but it all started with prayer.
Yeah.
So let's get to praying.
That's the thing right there, Alex. First of all, Ian said, stop punching your mic. Stop it.
I'm just so excited.
Second of all, that right there, guys, he just said everything that we're here for. We are here to help our leaders learn to love like Jesus and live like him too.
That's the whole point of this podcast.
When we go to the Father first, we see things happen.
Yes.
But when we go to our roommate, when we go to someone in the coworker, when we go to these other people as our source, everything fades away.
Correct.
Everything fades away. What does it say in this is why we need to search the Bible.
Hosea?
Nope. In Proverbs, I believe
Proverbs,
it's a heart deferred
makes hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And then
Bible school point.
I went to a public university.
It shows.
Farm trips. Hope deferred makes a heart grow sick. When our hope is in anything but Jesus, when we go and pray and talk to anyone but Jesus about our things, we aren't going to see anything happen. And so I love that. I'm all about prayer. Prayer is my everything. And as we get into it, that was the best story time ever. As we get into it, let us intro the guests right here. The guest for today's podcast, Alex Seidler.
Is us. We're the guests. We're the guests.
We are it.
Crystal Bartlett and Alex Seidler.
We are here. And we want to answer some of the big questions. We want to help you guys figure out, who are we?
Oh, yeah.
What are your heart cries? And why ministry?
Oh, I like this.
Why students?
I like
why
this.
college students? And so, Alex, grab that basket right there and pick a puzzle, because I'm about to interview you first.
I'm so angry right now, but I love you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with our spherical something.
He needs to take it apart and put it back together while we're talking. Okay. And so, Alex, we're going to start out with something a little bit more serious.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Why ministry?
Oh, that's such a great question.
Or actually, no. Sorry. Retraction.
I had this dream one time.
No. Retraction.
Okay. Why
How?
ministry? How ministry?
How? How in the world?
How ministry?
How did you get here?
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of stops. I grew up in North Jersey. Shout out North Jersey.
Is that a place?
I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up. I'll ask you where you're from in Michigan, so I have to do that for New Jersey. Guys, I almost got it.
He's dropped his puzzle 3 times.
This is my Will Ferrell cat impersonation. Ow. I should have worn safety glasses.
He just hit himself in the face.
See what happens when my wife Jody's not here. Things happen.
She low-key commented on something on Instagram, and it popped up on my iPad and said, haha, I love him so much.
I miss her. I miss and love her so much.
She's just the best. She's
As we film this, she's just in another building on campus somewhere. Just
she's literally not even less than a mile away.
So how ministry? This is a great question. My parents named me Alexander David. Okay, so it all starts with my name.
Really?
I was born on July 5th, which my great-grandfather was also born on July 5th. His name was Alexander. That's where the first name comes from. It's not Alexander the Great. It's named after my great-grandfather. David is because they knew that I was going to be a psalmist, a music person, a creative. So they wanted to name me David after the Bible. Wow. So I had this thing on my. I'm just actually kind of just touching
what
this.
Are you
I'm not
doing
trying to solve this. I knew there was this thing on my life from when I was young about ministry, about worship. So really, that was my first thing was music stuff. So playing instruments, being involved in worship bands. Joining worship teams, traveling, doing stuff. So that was like my whole middle school, middle school, high school kind of life. But then I also knew that there was a deeper call in my life. So I didn't take my SATs. I didn't take my PSATs.
What?
I took the PPSAT, which is the practice for the practice PSAT. And because I skipped the PSAT with my friends to go out and do naughty things, because I skipped the PSAT, I wasn't able to actually do the SAT. So here I am, a senior in high school. I know there's a call in my life. I'm not really living for the Lord. I'm making bad decisions. I'm running around with different crews that aren't good. And I knew that my older brother, Richard Seidler, he was at Elam Bible Institute up here in Lima, New York, right here on this campus. And so I was like, okay, I wonder if I could go there because I know I have this thing on my life and I know I'm not with a good crew right now. Maybe I could go there. And so I applied and now they're accredited, so you actually need some brains. But back in the day, you pretty much just needed a face. I'm not even joking.
What?
If you showed up and were like, I want to learn, like they would just take you. So I didn't take any of my SATs, my PS, I didn't take anything. I just showed up. They brought me on campus. I got radically discipled by a few of the teachers and staff. Had some bad friends in the beginning. They got kicked out, praise God. Ishmael Alvarez, I love you. He's a pastor now in Indiana. That's my guy right there. But we were bad to the bone. So anyway, but I actually was allowed to stay on campus.
What?
Of all my friends, we were all knuckleheads. I was allowed to stay on campus. And that decision alone goes down to a few people that are still my go-to people for stuff in my life. They fought for me to stay on the EBI campus.
Wow.
So I was able to come back my second and third year. I graduated. Right then and there, I launched into missions for 12 years, and I feel it's getting loose, which is good. So I'm almost there.
Don't break.
Was in missions for 12 years. And when God had on my life worship leading and youth ministry, but then I was a missionary for 12 years.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, God, I don't know what this is like. And so the best way I can describe my call, and I'm still in missions now. I'm a missions director for Elam
You
Fellowship.
really are.
The best way I can describe in my life is like when God was speaking to me about my calling, I was using like black and white and maybe one color to describe what that looked like. And then when I fully just stepped out in the first step of what God was calling me into, it's like that moment from The Wizard of Oz where the first scenes are in black and white, and then all of a sudden everything bursts into color. That's what it feels like. So it's like in my life, if you would have asked me when I was a senior at the Bible school, what are you going to do for the next 15 years?
Wow.
I would have laid out something, but only in the colors that I could understand. Only in what I thought my giftings and calling was going to be.
Wow.
And here I am 15 years later. I could have never painted the picture of what that journey looks like.
Wow.
Graduating, then being here. I'm an elder at Elam Fellowship. I'm the missions director. I'm involved in so many amazing things with so many different people. Director of Basic. That's another thing I'm doing that I just found out right now. Thank you for reminding me. Guys, I'm almost there. Look, I don't know what that piece is, but it's starting to move. I broke this 100.
I was going to say, I really hope you didn't break it.
Yeah.
I want to try.
Is my arm supposed to bend this way? And so God is used my giftings and skill sets and passions in ways that I never could ask, dream, or imagine.
Wow.
And he used them in a way of multiplication. Not simply me just like doing ministry because I have a skill set.
Yeah.
He's using the dreams and skills that I have that I'm made for to also multiply in others, but also to reach other people beyond anything that this little brain could ever think of.
Wow.
So that's the how. The how is very simple. I didn't take my SATs.
We're not giving any advice for skipping any mandatory testing.
Yo,
or
100%.
right now.
And what's our thing about testing? What do we say?
Oh,
stay positive, test negative.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do this.
That was good.
So that's me.
Wow, Alex, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of those things, first of all.
There's a lot more crazy stories, but I'm not going to get there. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were a worship leader.
Yeah, that's my thing. Here's the thing. This is my first magic trick. I'm like right now, how I describe myself to people is I say, I am a creative psalmist worship leader trapped in a strategic leader public speaking body.
Absolutely.
Because like most people, when they see me, they know me as like strategic leader, apostolic leadership, public speaking, traveling. It's like that's true. That's who I am. That's why I love Basic right now. Is I'm able to come in and do a bunch of things. But I'm like at the end of the day, I'm just like a little guy. Like I just want to be in the fields.
It's just falling apart now.
I know. I did it, guys. Now, sadly, I have to put all this together.
Yes.
But look, I did it.
You probably should have taken a picture of it first.
Yeah, I know. It's in my brain.
Okay.
Remember, I didn't take my SATs.
That nervous laugh. It's for all the children at home.
Honestly, like real talk, like there's something inside of me that's why I love this podcast. Always creative, always thinking, always wanting not just to do stuff for the sake of doing things, but I love being a part of the creation process. So that's who I am. And I'll lead worship for you sometime.
I'm excited. Well, you are going to lead worship for me right now because you haven't given me an intro song.
Yeah, here it is. Well, I actually called my favorite, speaking of worship leading, I called my favorite worship leader recently. Do you know him at all? Justin Bieber?
Wow.
So I called Justin and I said,
him last week.
I said, that always sounds like a subway to me. I called Justin and I said, hey, Justin, first of all, how are you doing? What's happening? Like, what's good? Are you okay? How's Haley? Do you know what I asked him? I said, do you really get your peaches from Georgia? That's what I said. Because I said, I know a guy. And I said, we're doing a podcast called The Basic Pod. And Justin and I actually go way back. And so I said, we're doing a podcast called The Basic Pod. We have a theme song. Would you want to pitch anything to us? And he said, Alex, I actually do.
Wow.
And so this is what he pitched us. He said, I can't play the actual recording of what he sent us, but I can sing what he sent us. Okay. So this is what Justin Bieber, Jay, if you're watching, we love you, Jay Biebs. Listen, we know you came through last time. You're always welcome to come through Lima and just stay with us. We really think
you should come.
And sup with us, so we love you. We're very close to Toronto where he grew up. We're very close, so just come on down. This is what he sent us. He said, and if you like the way you look that much, baby, you should go and pod yourself. Wow. That was for The Basic Pod. And so I'm not sure if I like that one. But if you were going to rate it from 1 to 10, Crystal, what would you rate this one right here? This is from Justin Bieber. You should go and pod yourself.
I think we should stop saying it on camera.
Okay.
So I think that
a 1 out of 10, it's not going to even score.
I think that it's definitely in the lower side.
Okay.
More in the 3.
Okay.
This pod yourself
100%. Ian just texted us. This episode will be called Pod Yourself.
Absolutely.
Dude,
absolutely. I think that I think Justin is capable of much more. That's all I want to say.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just text Biebs later, and I'll just ask him. Say, hey, for another podcast, could you just give us a quick, just another one?
Yeah.
Just another hit. So that one won't even score. I know sometimes, like in the Olympics, when they throw the stuff and it doesn't get to a certain level, they can't even score. That's what that one was.
That was definitely
okay.
It.
So we'll talk to Bieber about that.
Wow.
Chris, I want to know you. Okay, this is me. So now my whole life is just full of all I want to do. If you're asking for Alex for what his mission statement is, why is Alex on planet Earth? It's simply this: multiplying mission. That's Alex. You bring it all down. We call it M&M, baby. M&M's, multiplying mission. So if that happens overseas, praise God. If that happens in Basic, praise God. If that happens in someone's life, praise God. If that happens with a church, praise God. All I want to do is what I wake up every day and what I try to make every day count for is just multiplying mission in numerous ways. So that's me. So now you're the guest.
Yeah. Whoop.
And so I want to ask you now for our remaining time, tell us your story. Like you're amazing. You are 25 years old.
Thank you.
Talented, amazing, involved in many different things.
Yeah.
You also carry an apostolic call in your life.
I do.
You're not scared of helping to launch many things, being involved in many things. That doesn't like diffuse you. That like encourages you.
It does.
And so I love that. But tell us your backstory, like why ministry, but also how ministry. Like how did you get into this role you're in now?
Yeah.
And then also I want you to bring us to that statement of like what makes you tick, what do you live for, where are you at?
So go ahead and let me get my puzzle because I'm going to show you up.
Do you want to finish mine?
No.
Okay.
I didn't start it, so I can't finish it.
Mine's broken
Guys,
now.
My lovely.
You go in a circle? Good.
Yeah.
So give us where are you at?
Puzzle. Where am I at? So, guys, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but I was raised on the road, Alex. I was raised on the road.
I like that a lot.
Literally was raised on the road. So
that's amazing.
I moved from.
You just. Okay, how about as I interview, I'm going to try to put mine together too. Let's put ours together. Cheers. Cheers. Okay.
Did I take one of your pieces?
Help us, Lord.
And so I was raised on the road.
Born in Atlanta, raised on the road.
Born in Atlanta, raised on the road. And
I
so
love that
what
so
that
much.
means is I gave up.
You're good. I'm going to solve mine while you do yours.
Yeah, I love Jesus so much. So I was raised in a Southern Black Baptist home, and my father was Southern Black Baptist, but my mom was Catholic. And so we went to the Black Baptist church.
That's going to get exciting.
It absolutely did. It absolutely did. I learned all my prayers, went through catechism, but my father wanted us in the church. And so it was amazing what God did
I love that.
in my life, because apparently when I was like 7 years old, right before we left Atlanta, I was playing on a swing, and my dad came over and he asked me, "What do you want to be, Crystal? And when you grow up?" And I was like, "Dad, I want to be a preacher."
No way.
Or a lawyer, because I want to change lives with the gospel. And I knew that I could do it one of two ways.
Yep.
And so we ended up moving from Atlanta, my mom and my siblings and I, and later I was in foster care and got adopted by an amazing family. Shout out to my father, Justin Bartlett.
Justin!
If you ever need a Christmas tree, we're your people. And
Christmas trees and goats, right?
Christmas trees and goats. Well, we don't really sell our goats, only to staff. That was a staff thing.
100%.
You guys.
I need a goat.
You do need a goat. Yep. I am your goat. Greatest
you are
of all
the
time.
goat. Yep.
And so I knew from a young age that
amazing.
I wanted to help people.
Yes.
And I knew that God was going to be a part of it. And so I've always had a heart that burned for prayer.
Yep.
I've talked to Jesus even when I didn't like him, even when I didn't think he liked me. And so, yeah. So then I went on my first mission trip ever.
Where'd you go?
To Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
To Mississippi.
MISSISSISSISSISSIPPI.
Wow, you said a lot more S's than I think. MISSISSIPPI.
Say it again one more time.
MISSISSPPI. We could be spelling it
wrong. No,
you're
fine. I think you're right.
Comment below.
We'll have it on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I went to Mississippi, but that was just the wildest story ever. Like,
tell me.
This woman, when I was like 9 years old, we lived in a homeless shelter called Mel Trotter in Grand Rapids, Michigan, right about here on the Mitten.
I told you, man, they're going to have to These people are crazy.
And I lived up there eventually. And the youth leader, she was amazing at this homeless shelter. She spoke into my life. They took us to camp for a week while they were working with our parents on some practical tips. And at that camp, I heard the gospel for the first time. And I was naughty. Like, I put gum in people's hair. I fought people. I used to lay hands like nobody's business. Not the type of lay hands that bring them back.
Now it's a different type of laying hands.
That was a different type of laying hands. And like, I was wild.
Wow.
And then this is what happened. On our last day there, I said, "Am I going to stay with you forever?" And she's like, "No, but God is going to stay with you forever."
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, "No, he's not. He doesn't love me. I'm not." And it was just this huge heartbreaking thing. My heart broke. And so I moved to Ohio. I moved back from Ohio to northern Michigan up here.
UP?
No. Traverse City.
Oh, sorry, Traverse City.
UP's over here.
Okay.
Because this is the
Oh,
UP.
sorry. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, they're all the way up here. But it's okay. And so I was all the way up there. I got invited to go on this mission trip, which I was like, first of all, foster kids don't go on mission trips. Like, no one goes through the process of getting it approved by the court, the caseworker, and all those humans.
Wow.
And so I was like, there's no way I'm going. But then my caseworker was like, you can go.
That's amazing.
And on our way down, we met our sister church from Falmouth, which is also from up here. And their youth leader was the camp counselor from 3 years prior in my life at the homeless shelter.
That one that spoke into your life.
Exactly. And she took me down to Mississippi, baptized me, started mentoring me. We learned that she only lived like 10 minutes away from my house, just walked with me throughout life. And she told, like, I had such a heart for youth and young adults and all that stuff, even as a youth, that she's like, you need to go work at camps. And so I started working at camps, and I later went to work in the mountain and all the places. And then I landed myself at Central Michigan University.
CMU, what's up?
CMU, fire up, CMU, fire up chips. And when we got there, I knew that it was just changing the game. There were so many people so hungry for the word of God. And so all I knew how to do, because I didn't study the Bible, all I knew was the catechism. I knew how to pray. And so I just went throughout that campus praying for people, longing for them to hear the Lord. And really, that brings me to today.
Come on.
From CMU, Central Michigan University,
CMU.
all the way to Lima, New York.
To LMU.
It was
Lima.
literally the Lord just prayer. And so what do I burn for? I pray, and then I go wherever God calls me. Because honestly, who would choose Lima, New York to fall into? Not me. But the Lord chose it for me.
100%.
And now I get to pray and see things and bring them to life.
You're a starter. That's what you are. You're an igniter.
That is it.
There's a few people that talk about changing the world, and then there's a few people that actually do it. And you're one of the ones, you balance both. Because you talk about it and help people engage with like the understanding of, oh, Jesus is real. He's in my life. It's not just for salvation. It's also for reaching those around me.
Absolutely.
You don't just talk about it. A lot of people talk about that. Then you actually just do it. You live it in your life every single day.
I literally was just thinking about this last night. I was in the car and I was thinking, I was like, man, my biggest reach right now, because more long stories, I now take care of my 12-year-old nephew. And so I'm like a mom aunt. Yeah. And I'm like, my reach.
Mont, we call that.
My mont.
Mont.
My reach has now shrunk. Yes. I used to be able to go everywhere, anywhere, anytime. Like, I have a friend getting ordained this weekend, and I thought about driving down to Jersey, and I'm like, I can't. I got to get ready for Boy Scout camp.
That's it.
And my reach is now the man at the gas station or woman, whoever serves me at whatever restaurant, and the people at Walmart grocery pickup, because the Lord knows I don't have time to buy my own groceries anymore. And so, like, that's what it is. Like, you guys have a reach. You have people that you can reach. You have places that you can go. And so I know it's starting right now.
This is it.
And you need to do it. Like, that's it. Like, you don't need, like Alex said last podcast, you don't need to go to, everybody's not called to the nations.
That's okay.
But you're called to your neighbor.
That's it. You're called to reach somebody.
You're called to reach somebody. But first, the Lord needs to reach you. And so if you haven't given your life to Jesus.
This is who you are right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it right now.
This is who you are.
If you haven't given your life to Jesus, I would love to connect with you. I'd love to share of his love for you, how good and worthy you are for his love, but also how much of little sinner Annie we kind of were. And nothing against my girls Annie's. It's one of my best friend's names. She's actually not like a sinner. She's a saint. But like that salvation piece, he came for us.
Yes, he did.
And to reach other people. I need to stop now.
You're sharing the essence of who you are.
I know, it's really bad. It's just bubbling over right now.
So this is who we are, though. This is the interview. This is the podcast.
Yep.
We love you.
We're
going to interview leaders that are going to share their hearts to encourage you, to help you love and live like Jesus. Last time, we're going to say the word.
Say the word.
And so we're going to count to 3 and say the word. 1, 2, 3.
Missions.
Mississippi! Oh, we are so close. We love you.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, let's go!